Hello, welcome to Dungeon Dwellers Podcast. I'm your host, Justin. Today we're reviewing Friday the 13th, Part 3, also known as Friday the 13th 3D, directed by Stephen Miner. It came out in... Fuck, I closed the page. This is my second take. I accidentally closed the page. Whatever. Oh my god. Fuck. Whatever, the movie came out in 1982. I'll put who stars in the movie in the description. um, Basically, you have this. The story is Jason obviously survived the events of Part 2. You see him. You see a clip of the second movie in the beginning of this movie, which I kind of hate when they do that, but it was super short. Um, they don't explain where the fuck Jason is, but I'm assuming he's somewhere in the area. I don't fucking know. I should mention his face looks very. You see his face in this movie, and it looks completely different from in the other movies. His eyes somewhat line up, and he has this like creepy like smile on his face. When you do see him, he also, this is the first movie where he has his iconic hockey mask. He steals it from, what was his name, Shelly, who's like this fat geeky. Well, he's not that fat. He's this geeky character who's like horror fan. He has like a makeup set, and he also has a Fangora magazine where you see like a Tom Savini article, which Tom Savini did the special horror movie effects for the first one, and I don't know if he did the second and third one, but yeah. So like there was a little like callback to him, which is not really like, you know, unless you know about Tom Savini, it's not really, you know, like immersion breaking like you know, a immersion breaking thing. But yeah, like the story is this girl named Chris takes her friends to her family's farmhouse for the weekend, where she meets up with her boyfriend Rick. Her group of friends are Shelly, the nerdy geeky guy, Andy, and what was her name, Debbie, who are a couple. Vera, who's supposed to be this Mexican girl who doesn't look Mexican at all, and these two hippie characters, even though it's the 80s. But you know what? I've been to college parties where they've had like hippie guys like handing out like, you know, fucking mushrooms and talking about going to Grateful Dead fucking concerts. How these people are still around, I don't fucking know. But yeah, yeah. So it's not that big a deal to see hippies in the movie. Apparently, her backstory, because her backstory is she survives an encounter from Jason, which she isn't in any of the previous Friday the 13th movies, as far as I know. And like this has caused a rift between her and her boyfriend Rick, where they haven't had sex in, you know, however long. And the Friday the 13th movies are supposed to be known for their like sleaziness. There's hardly any nudity in the movie except for one scene, which for a 3D movie you would expect there to be like, you know, some nudity here and there, but no siree. If you want nudity in the 3D movie, go check out, what was it called, My Bloody Valentine 2009 with Jensen Ackles. I could be wrong, but yeah. Yeah, so I also thought the movie was... I thought the movie was kind of cheap compared to the other movies, but apparently this movie had... its budget was like $2.33 million, whatever that is, but it's like this movie was over $2 million. Like, what they spent the money on? I don't know, maybe like the 3D cameras were expensive. I don't even know how they did 3D back then. I thought they just put a filter on the film to make it red and blue, and that's how they did 3D. Oh, but whatever, right? I'm sure somebody will explain to me in the comments. Um, yeah, I did enjoy this movie. I thought it was better than the last movie. But yeah, it's just there weren't a lot of characters. Um, I did find it, funny that like you had the 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 Shelly character who's like this geeky like nerd character who's like almost gets laid in the movie, but like has to ruin it with his practical jokes. um, and the I also thought the movie. I should mention like there's a scene where like Shelly and Vera go to this convenience store where they like antagonize this biker gang, which is a black guy, black girl, and this white dude who show up at the farmhouse trying to burn down the barn where they run into Jason. Jason kills them, and it's probably he killed the black guy named Ali. He apparently survived getting beaten to death with fucking by Jason with a hammer, only to like get chopped to pieces at the end of the movie with machete. Why he would hang around for hours after he was, being unconscious, I have no idea. That was kind of like, like a plot hole to me. I should also mention that, did I mention the fact that, like, that's the problem when you do multiple takes and you don't have a fucking script. Like, I have to mention shit, and it's like, I'm not sure if I said it already, but like, you see Jason's face without the mask, and his eyes are aligned. They're not like offset like they were in the first two movies, and he has this really creepy smile for some reason. The ending for this movie is super weird. The final girl, which there's always a final girl, has this vision where the movie kind of ends similar to the first movie, where she goes into a canoe and it sleeps on the lake for the night after her encounter with Jason, which Jason somehow survived, like getting hanged, which I thought that scene was super cool, and then getting like the axe and in his head, where like that's where the iconic crack from his mask is from. It's from when this movie where like he gets an axe to the head. She wakes up in the morning and gets attacked by Jason's mother, who's like a zombie, which she had her head cut off. It turns out it's all a dream sequence, and the cops show up at the end of the movie and like save her. Which yeah, if I were to rate this movie, I was gonna rate it a little higher, because I did like kind of enjoy the movie, where like you finally get to see Jason with his iconic hockey mask. But now that I think about it, the movie, I don't know, it's like, it's not, like, it feels cheap at times, and there's not really a lot going on in the movie. It just feels like they're killing time just until like Jason shows up, and the movie, honestly, except for that one scene where at the convenience store with Shelly and Vera, the movie is not as fun as the last two movies, so I'm probably going to give it 5.5 out of 10. Though I was actually planning on giving this movie a higher review, but now that I think about it, I should also mention the fact, I mentioned this in the first take, but I forgot to mention in this take, there was several shots in the movie where there's like hair on the fucking film or on the camera. Either way, there's like hair and dust on either the film or the camera lens, and it's like super distracting. It's in multiple shots throughout the movie, especially in the beginning of the movie, which I actually did like the beginning of the movie, where like you had the balding, like, you know, grocery store owner and his like naggy wife, who obviously looks a lot younger than her character is supposed to be, but whatever, right? Yeah, so I don't know. The next movie, Friday the 13th, the final chapter, is supposed to be like really good. Like, apparently, like, it's, besides from the 6th movie, it's supposed to be one of the best Friday the 13th movies. So I'm looking forward to that. You know, Corey Feldman's in it. Before he went crazy. What made him crazy? Who the fuck knows? Alright, peace.